the hard work, man. I see you getting all these guests, and I'm obviously we're helping each other out here with all the podcasts and
Yes.
getting big time guests, and it's all about helping out each other in the podcast world, journalist world, and I just want to say thank you for having me on again. This is an honor. So
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm glad to get you back on the show. And as you said, we talk every day. I mean, we talk on Instagram and Twitter every day. So it was only right for me to get you back on the show. And I want to let everyone know I have Nathan Ramachandra on the show. He is the host of the NR Hour, very popular podcast. I mean, this guy is a grinder. I mean, he grinds. He puts like three, four shows a day, every day, just about, and even on the weekends. So thank you for coming on. So check it out on Instagram. I know you have your YouTube channel. You put the content out on LinkedIn and
Twitter.
Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, so definitely check it out. So again, thank you for coming on. Again, I'm glad to get you back on the show.
Yeah, so I just want to say, it's it's hard work, but it's worth it because to obviously you're gonna get some no's by guests, but the people who say yes, you feel great at the end because it's worth at the end of the day because you say to yourself, I put in the hard work by reaching out to this guest they and then figure out the schedule and promoting it and but it's just an honor for them to be talking, especially during this tough time, and not only sports but life journeys, where they come from, and that's the goal about my podcast is that just not just talking about their lives and journeys. So
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, we help each other out. Um,
yeah,
I got some of the, like you said, I was telling you yesterday, I got a couple of the guests you had recently, actually. And then you had Julie Stewart Binks on I mean, literally like right after I had her. And I told her when we were talking on email
that was
that,
first of all. Sorry to cut you off, but I gotta say thank you for that one because she is the best, and oh my gosh,
yeah.
that interview was awesome, and thank you for that one. I really appreciate that,
Yeah.
and you told me that you're having Mallory Carlo coming on sooner, right?
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
okay.
Mallory. Yep, yeah. She's coming on. You had her this week, and I listened to that interview, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna reach out. And you always post, sending pages and stuff like that. Like I said, we support each other. And when you were talking to her, I was like, oh, okay. Let me see if I can get her on too. So I reached out, I think via Instagram, and then she was like, oh, definitely, I definitely want to come on. So I got her on next
Yeah,
Saturday. So
yeah.
so yeah. So how you been doing, man? With I know you got the podcast rolling. How's everything else going and family and everything being safe and all that?
Yeah, so we're doing good. Just trying to stay active with the workouts. That's the main thing. And we have a dog now too, so we're just keeping them busy with the dog, with the golden doodle. And she's 6 months now, and she's energetic, keeping me active. And but the main thing is that keep staying active for people. For people need to stay active during this tough time. So I always say that. And then working out is the main thing for me. And also, tomorrow's my birthday, so I'm getting ready
Oh,
for
okay,
my
happy
first
birthday, man.
birthday.
Yeah, big shout out. Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow's my 25th birthday, so big one tomorrow. So
Still young, man. You are still young, man. I mean, uh,
and
but you put in the hard work. Happy birthday, and I
yeah,
hope you enjoy it. Are you taking the day off from podcasting
uh,
tomorrow?
you know what? I got something cooking for tomorrow, so stay tuned. I'm hoping to have a big time guest tomorrow, hopefully. But so far I have one guest tomorrow at 12 p.m. Omar Kelly. He covers the Miami Dolphins, if you know him.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
so
remember. Yep,
yeah, so he's coming on the show at 12 p.m. Eastern, and I don't want to say the name yet, but I'm hopefully this comes to fruition for tomorrow. I'm just working out the details, and stay tuned. Whoever to your viewers right now, just say I'm just gonna say stay tuned. I have something cooking for tomorrow, so let's see if I'm not gonna say anything yet. So
yep. Okay. Yeah. Right. Right. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Like I said, keep checking out the Instagram page and the podcast page and your Twitter and everything. Because like I said, you're all over YouTube and everything else. So, but talk about the show for those that don't know. Talk about what the NR Hour show is, how it started, and how do you book your guest every single day.
yeah, so I started this, and actually I do a separate podcast with my other friends. I told you about this, and It's called the Grunt Talks. That's on Zoom too. But I started my own brand at the beginning of the pandemic. That's how funny it is because it's
Right.
growing. It's growing rapidly. Actually, my first interview I've done with this podcast is Jim Down, a former NHL player from the Devils. That's my first interview from on this
Okay.
podcast, and then it was growing from there. From there, my second interview was Homer Bush, former Yankee, and so after that, it kept growing. And my podcast is not only sports. I'm expanding it now to actor. I mean, obviously, I had actors and actresses on, and then yesterday I had. I'm sure you know him, Oz Pearman,
Yeah,
my
the mind reader magician. Yeah, I saw
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I had him on. I messed up on that one, but I told him let's do it again. At some point he said okay, we'll see. Um, he came on yesterday. I'm trying to keep people keep people entertained. Whoever doesn't like sports, I'm trying to find ways to bring on guests that pertains to them, and so everybody sees it. And yeah, my podcast is all about everything, life journeys and where they come from. Inspiring stories is the main thing,
Yeah.
and that's it pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, check out the this podcast. It's one of the best. I listen to it. I'm saying I'm on a lot almost every day because when I'm working, I'm working from home. So when I'm working, I'm listen, I just listen to a lot of podcasts. You know, I watch, I'll watch like the Talent Howard show and First Take and things like that. But then without that, I'm listening to podcasts. I listen to yours. I listen to a lot of different ones. So I'm definitely a supporter, and I can't wait to get on your show next week, and
Yeah,
then we can
yeah.
well, so I'll be on there. So check that out. We'll definitely promote
So
that. So check that out.
yeah, that will be on Instagram Live, I believe, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
So we'll do that on Instagram Live. So definitely, but yeah, check out the NR Hour. You would not be disappointed. I tell you, this guy grinds big time, man. So I really appreciate the hard work that you put in for that. So talk about a couple of your latest guests that you've had over the last couple of weeks. I mean, you've had a lot
Oh,
of different people. So
yeah.
let everyone know where like all the guests that you've had maybe over the last week.
Yeah, so today, for example, before your show, I had Adam Godis, the defensive tackle. He signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars 2 weeks ago, and he's coming off a ACL injury, and he told me that he's fully healthy, 100%, so he's ready to go with the Jaguars. And this week, the last week, I had man, it's too hard to keep up with, but it's too many.
Right.
I had Julie this week, so Julie Stewart Banks
Yep.
this week, and then I had and I also had a couple of like reporters on, journalists, and I'm still working on getting some other big time guests. So that's like something cooking, but yeah. So it's just, and also the Oz Perriman from yesterday, and and I had Speedy Claxton yesterday
Speedy
on the
Claxton,
show.
yeah,
Yeah,
basketball player, yeah, former
yeah,
basketball player. Yeah, I saw that. That was good.
yeah. So I'm just it's just honor for them to come on the show, and I'm also I think I'm close to finalizing the schedule for next week. So
Yeah. You're always a week ahead. You're kind of. It's funny how we work. We kind of work the same. Like I'll start working on the guests. Like I usually start like Monday or Sunday or Monday to say, okay, who I want on. It depends what's going on. Like if there's like some NFL news going on or some basketball news, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna reach out to this person. I'm gonna reach out to this person. And a lot of times I have some of the same guests come on because they want to get on. They want to talk about what their projects are, or like I said, it's not just sports. It's life. It's music. It's just in general. And we have all those type of guests. Like when I reached out, we talked about Julie Stewart Banks. I kind of wanted her on the show, for a while. So I reached out to her on Instagram, and she was like, "Well, here's my email." She said, "Yeah, hit me up on email." I was like, okay, this could be something.
yeah,
I didn't know if she was gonna, respond back. You know how it is. Sometimes they said, hit them up on Instagram, and then, but she did. She, as soon as I sent her an email, and she was like, oh, for sure, I'm definitely going to get on. She said, she said, what do you, what day you want to do it? I said, I usually do Saturdays, but I can always work around,
all right.
during the week. And she was like, Saturday works. She said, because she was quarantining. She was in Canada doing the
Yeah,
quarantine, and because she was visiting her family. So she said, well, let's do Saturday or Friday. She said Friday at noon. I was like, that's perfect. I said, I won't keep you long. I'll be about half hour. So she's like, yep, perfect. So yeah, that's how that's how it works. Then I work on the next week. Like
yeah.
I already have next week's guest already booked. Just got to figure out the time. That's it. That's how it works.
And so yeah, I remember when I was doing the interview with Julie, she was home already, back home at
Yeah,
that time when I
yeah.
did the interview with her. So
Yeah, yeah, it was a good. Like I said, we got her on, and like I said, we have some of the same guests. So you keep doing good work on that. So, all right, let's get into some of these sport news. I know that's what we love to do. So let's talk about it. So you got you got the Zeke shirt on right now. So let's talk about a little bit of your Cowboys and Jerry Jones and his finally saying a statement. What'd you think of that? Sounded like a presidential some type of
Well,
presidential thing. So what do you think of Jerry Jones speaking out the way he did, and did you believe him?
is that about the fan situation or?
The fans, and then he was saying about the protesting, like he's
Oh,
and all that. Yeah, what do you think of that?
I mean, the first one with the fans. I mean, I get where he's coming from, but still, the players. I mean, the obviously safety is the number one thing, and he expects the fans to be in Dallas Stadium. But all of these other teams are now already announcing that no fan. The Texans announced that they're not having fans. So, I mean, Jerry Jones is always optimistic about stuff, and he's always going to talk his own stuff. But I feel like that at, this football starts next month, and to be honest, I don't think they'll be ready for fans to come in, by next month. I don't see it. So Jerry Jones, I mean, he can say whatever he wants, but I think the main thing is safety. Safety, and the NFL will take the right protocols for that. And to the next one with the protest, I mean, I didn't really see what he said there, but I can. Jerry Jones, I've been getting a lot of questions about Jerry Jones recently on my show, saying, "Do you think he should start speaking out more on the racism stuff?" And to be honest, he should. And I don't know he's not why I don't know why he's not doing that. And I think he should start speaking out on that. And but I'll give him a shout out by signing Everson Griffin though to that bargain deal. We got Everson Griffin this week.
Defensive lineman, yeah, defensive end. Yeah, that was a good signing. And Jerry Jones, to me, it's all about the money with him. We know that, and that's why the way he was saying, he sounded like a politician when he was making a statement. And the fans, I think he's just unrealistic about that. It's almost like you're not going to be able to put 10,000 people. He said the stadium can it holds over 100,000 people, but he said we can social distance. All right, so how many people can you have in there? You don't want too many people in there, right? Not right now, at least. So I think he's very unrealistic when it comes to that. With him not speaking.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have a question. Actually, let me ask you this: Do you think he should speak up more about racism? Because I think he should.
I think he should too. I mean, if he doesn't know what to say, then maybe don't say anything. I mean, maybe he's not aware. But he did say a lot in 2016. He said that none of the Cowboys should kneel, and if they do, they'll be fired. So but he's a guy that loves to speak in front of the camera. So why was he hiding for these last 4 months and anything? And now he finally speaks up, but he didn't really say much in the last interview. Like I say, sound like a politician. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when the season starts, where he will, because a lot of his players are speaking up. For the protest and the racism, against the racism and stuff like that. So it makes you wonder what if it affects his money. Jerry Jones is going to say something about it. So it's all about the money with Jerry Jones. I think we have some technical
Oh,
issues. Are you still there?
yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, yep. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. All I can say is we had a great off season, and all I can say is to the other teams, good luck facing our defense now.
Yeah, you will see now, because I think that was you guys' weakest point, was the part of the team was the defense. I mean, offensively, you guys should be fine. It was just defensively, and now you picked up a couple of players recently, so you guys should definitely be stronger. Definitely should be stronger. You know, going forward on defense. So, but let's talk about a little bit about the NBA and the bubble. What'd you think of the playoffs? I mean, the NBA has done it again. I mean, it's playoffs start, the bubble. The games have been excellent. I've been loving it. Been watching a lot of it, and you got the playing game tonight, or today actually, 2:30. Portland and Dame Lillard. Oh my goodness, man, this guy.
Dame Lillard.
fire. Yes, he's trying to lead this team to the playoffs. And he said all he wanted was a chance, and he's finally got that chance. But they play Memphis. It's going to be a tough team.
Yeah.
Ja Morant. What do you think of what do you think of the NBA, how they've handled it and the bubble itself?
Man, I give credit to Adam Silver. He handled it well. Even with the same thing in the WNBA,
too, yeah.
they handled it well. Yeah, so Adam Silver, man, one of the best, in my opinion, commissioners, and also Kathy from the WNBA, and they're doing a great job. And I'm pumped for this playing game today at 2:30. It's gonna be fun to watch. And man, Dame Lillard against John Morant. Nothing better than that. And I feel like Dame Lillard will show up again. And in my opinion, he's gonna score over 50 points today. And but this game is gonna be excellent to watch. And let me tell you a quick funny story. Actually, so I had Greg Smith on my show recently, a former NBA player.
Yeah.
And so I asked him a question, or someone did in the question box, saying, "Do you think Dame is the best point guard in the league right now?" He said, "Yeah, definitely for sure." And he went and why. And then also one of the sports journalists took his quotes and then my podcast and made it into an article. So I got featured in an article from the India. Yeah.
So it just makes you wonder, like, Dame is just building on his legacy, and he's definitely pushing his team to go. And if they get the 8th seed, they play the Lakers. I think Portland's a dangerous team. Remember last year they went to the conference finals. They lost to the Golden State, but Lillard is doing his thing, like, and the way they're playing, the way Carmelo Anthony's playing, and CJ McCollum, and they got a really deep team, and Lillard is leading them. And it's funny because it opened up with Paul George and Patrick Beverly calling him out because he missed those free throws to when they lost to the Clippers, and they're cheering on the sideline and things like that. So that just woke up a sleeping giant, and that's all I tell you. You can't tick off Dame Lillard, man. Because if you do, this is what happens. He puts up 50, 60 points. And if he can just pull this off and they beat Memphis today, they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah. But speaking on this trash talking, what's funny about sports? So they talk trash on the court or on the field, but off the field or off the court, they're friends. That's how funny how sports work. But yeah. So to the game today, I wouldn't discount the Grizzlies winning today either, because they're a tough. They're a greedy team, and John Morant. If you let John Morant get comfortable in the game, oh, watch out! I think it'd be a Dame and Josh show today. I can't wait for that.
Oh yeah,
I think. Definitely. Yeah. So the Trailblazers cannot go into the game confident. They need to play their own game, and then think as is. It's a regular season game, right? So this is a playing game. You win or go home. Basically. So the Trailblazers need to think. They need to play how they were playing in the bubble in the regular season, and then play to their accolades. And then if they do everything right, then they're going to win. But the Grizzlies standpoint, I love the way I told everyone this is my sleeper team. The Grizzlies, I love the way they play right now.
Yeah, you can't sleep on the Grizzlies. Even though they lost Jaren Jackson, they did lose him, and they haven't played well, but they had a cushion going into this. So they had a 4-game lead, so that's why they're in this play-in game. But John Morant is still playing very well in the bubble. And, can he hold his own against Dame Lillard? That's the question. It's up to if Carmelo can keep hitting shots, and CJ McCollum, I read that he's got a back issue, so that kind of hurts him because he's their second guy. But Gary Trent, he's been playing well. So he's been another guy coming off the bench. Portland's deep. I mean, they have a really deep squad. So and Lillard keeps leading them like he's been. They should win, but it should be a very good game.
Yeah.
So let's move on to UFC 252. I wanted to get your opinion.
I can't wait.
Yeah. This is big. Stipe Miocic against Daniel Cormier. This is the third fight, the rubber match. Cormier won the first fight. Stipe won the second fight, and now you got the third fight. This is the main event. I just wanted to get your opinion on that. Who do you think wins this fight?
Oof. You see, so yesterday I was on listening to 98.7 ESPN, and then obviously Ariel Helwani, one of the best
Yeah.
UFC reporters out there, he
Yep.
was on that show, and he was explaining. So obviously this fight is in Las Vegas, I think, and then
Yeah.
it's a small arena. So
Yep. Yep.
he said that it favors DC because the way he wants to be, he wants to fight and Site makes the move. So this versus DC, he said. So if DC it's gonna be, it's gonna be a great fight anyway. So for me, it's tough to pick. But if I had to choose, I'm picking Daniel Cormier. This is a big fight for him, and I think he needs to win this. And but it's gonna be a tough one. Psych is good too, and it's gonna be interesting to see. So, but to Ariel's point, I agree with him 100%. It's all about who's comfortable in that ring, and I feel like DC will have the advantage. But let's see what happens. Anything can happen in that fight. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Miocic is a tough fighter. I mean, this to me, this is legacy fights. Like they're both two of the greatest heavyweights of all time. But you know, DC, this is supposed to be his last fight, so he wants to go on top. And the way he lost the last fight against Miocic, Miocic was DC was winning the fight. DC was controlling it, and then those body shots it took a toll on him. So he found Miocic found an opening and took him right to the body, and that's when he knocked DC down and got on. So DC was on First Take yesterday or the day before, and he was talking. They both were on the First Take, and DC was talking about. He said, I've controlled both fights. I won the first one because I saw an opening, and he hit him. He hit him with the uppercut or he hit him with an elbow and got him down. So he got inside. So DC's the great wrestler, one of the best wrestlers we've ever seen. But he didn't have to use it. He said it. He said, I like to stand up too, and I saw an opening, so I took advantage of it. So they were asking about his wrestling and see if he said he would love to get him on the ground, pick him up, body slam, get him on the ground. But Miocic is such a big fighter, he's not going to allow DC to get inside of him and try to. So DC said, I got to box him. So I think it's going to come down to that. If DC does what he does, take advantage of that, I think he wins this fight. So I got him winning and retiring on top. Even if he doesn't win, he's still one of the best fighters we've ever seen.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's gonna be. I can't wait for this. This is all I can say is get your popcorn ready, like Tio says.
Right. Like Tio said, get your popcorn ready. Yes, definitely. So got a couple more because I know you got getting ready for your show and probably within the next hour. So, well, I want to talk to the little Yankees. How excited have you been? Yankees have started out really well. Now though, they got a couple of injuries though. To I think Judge is out and Stanton.
Yeah.
Yeah, again injured. So, and this is a short season. The Yankees have started out hot. What do you think of the Yankee season? What do you think of Major League Baseball? Do you think they can actually finish? Because they keep getting people. COVID cases are running rampant right now. And I guess the Cardinals they're finally getting ready to play since July 31st. So.
Yeah, so now we got another positive test, and the Cincinnati Reds.
Cincinnati Reds, yeah. That was to yesterday. Yep, last night.
Yeah. First Yankees, man, guy is unbelievable. He's a stud. This is the reason why we signed him to win. Every fifth. I feel confident. Whenever we score runs first, we're gonna win that game because Garrett Cole, man, this guy is something else. 20th consecutive win. Are you serious? This is ridiculous. This is like, man. I'm happy that he's on our side now. We don't have to face him. And but to the injuries though, I mean, here's the thing: both players are 6'7" and 200 something pounds, and they all work out. And I think, to be honest, Judge is a much better player than Stanton. Stanton is a 1-dimensional player. Judge is a 5'2" player, but when healthy. My concern is, when it comes to the contract situation, I hate to say this, but I would just let Judge walk. I mean, we have so many outfielders. Clint Frazier, he's showing what he can do right now. He's having a great he had so far 2 great games, and I think we can survive. I mean, obviously we need both of them for the World Series if we want to go far with Judge and Stanton. But as of right now, we can survive without them. And all these young players we have, it's like last year, same thing. Like last year, everybody stepped up. So I feel confident, but long-term situation with Judge, I will not give him the extension. And obviously Stanton, we're stuck with him for like 7 years, so we gotta. No one will take him. But for Judge situation, I hate to say this, people, but I think we should let him walk. And we have a top prospect waiting in the wings in Jason Dominguez, so I'm really looking forward to what he's doing. But right now, short term, the Yankees can survive without both of them. And man, we have a deep team, and the pitching staff outside of Cole, I feel like they need to start pitching better. But Cole is just unbelievable.
Yeah, Cole has been like a monster. I mean, like you said, the 20 consecutive wins, like that's ridiculous. And like that's he's got probably the best pitch. He's probably the best pitcher in baseball right now because he's got all the stuff, man. He's got electric stuff, and then it's the curveball, the fastball. He's got it all. And when you have an ace like that on the top of your rotation, who can go? I mean, can you imagine in the playoffs you could go with him? Game 1, Game 4, Game 7. Like that's how good he is. He's one of those type of pitchers, and he's a big time pitcher. The Yankees are playing big time. Every time I look around, I turn around. They're winning. They're winning somehow, some way, and they got the bats. They got like you said, the pitching is always a question after Cole, but if they can just maintain and keep runs. Just get runs early and often. They should. They were one of the favorites going into this season. In a shortened season like this, if they can just keep avoiding injuries, they should be right in the World Series.
Yeah. So to be honest, the one team we should fear is the A's. The Oakland A's is playing out of their minds right now.
They are.
They're on a different level, and I think that's the one team we should consider as a contender right now in this 60-game season. But getting to your point, if they're going to finish the season, with the Reds now getting positive tests, and now the Cardinals and the Miami Marlins, they're playing good. Miami Marlins, even with these positive. But and the Orioles are playing good. This is how funny it is, a 60-game season where all these bad teams can take advantage. But I mean, to be honest, I would like to see the season finish, but I think they might have to stop at the halfway mark if it continues.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, without a bubble, it's going to be hard. I mean, if they could pull it off, but there's going to be more positive tests, as you said. We just got, the Reds, and now they're their other team. You had the Brewers, you had the Cardinals, you had some Phillies, the Miami Marlins. So it's as much as and then I guess you had some players from the Brewers. I think that they stepped away from the protocol. Like now they're going to be suspended. Now.
Oh no, I think that was that's a Cleveland Indians. I think
Cleveland Indians. That's what it was. Not Francona just came out. You're right. Cleveland Indians. Yeah, 2 players stepped out with their friends, and like if you didn't want to play, they didn't force you to play. If you want to not play and you wanted to go with your friends and hang out, you had that opportunity. You had that right. You didn't have to, but if you're gonna play, you got to be committed. You got to stay within the protocols. But some of these players are not gonna listen. They're not gonna follow rules, and they're gonna, and it's unfortunately they might get the coronavirus, and then it spreads. There's an outbreak, and then the season's over. Then it's canceled.
Did you see the comment that their teammate said, Pluto?
Yeah, I saw that. I just saw it on the news today. Yeah,
crazy.
He said the media is scaring us, and they're taking it. It's not that serious or something like that. Come on, man. Like I said, if you didn't want to play, you could have stepped away and not played. That was your choice, but you wanted to play because you want to get paid. So yeah. I don't know. Some people are going to be reckless, and that's how it is. So, but I got one more for you. College football. Do you think that I mean that's another one, like they canceled the Big Ten and the Pac-12. They were 2 of the Power Fives that canceled their season to at least to the spring, delayed it, and now you got the SEC, ACC, and the Big 12. They want to play. They said they're going to play. We'll see. Do you think that college football, those conferences, are they making the right move, or do you think they should play, or do you think they should just delay it until at least the spring?
At this point, that all of them should delay it till the spring, but because the Big Ten and, like you said, Big Ten, Pac-12, no, not Pac-12, yeah, Big Ten, and they announced it, and then it was a Pac-12, right? They announced it, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, so at this point, all the others should just cancel, and then worry about the spring because it's gonna. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's interesting because you know you had the president come out and say there should be college football and a lot of I mean the players want to play. I mean of course they
I
should
yeah.
play, but it's all about safety. It's all about protecting the students and the student athletes and just the students themselves and for school too. I mean that's another old topic. If school's not in, how can we play college sports? That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, and I feel bad for all the senior players that are trying to
Yeah,
be ready for the draft, and I think the players should just whoever's seniors and whoever's eligible for the draft, they just focus on the draft. That's
yeah.
it.
Yep, yep. I agree. Like players like Trevor Lawrence and others, he's going to be a top pick, if not the for number one pick. And he wants to play. I know that he started a thing on Twitter about we need to play, we should play. Yeah, of course, and I feel bad for the ones that are seniors and things like that. But it's all about the safety because you put a lot of people in the same room, you just don't know what can happen. And without a bubble situation, as we said, I think that's the only way that could work. But we'll see. But college sports, they don't have a commissioner. That's one issue. And if they did have a commissioner, maybe they can handle it better. But I don't. I just there's no leadership. The leadership is lacking in college sports in general. So
Yeah,
that's the reason. That's why we're in that same predicament that we are right now in the SEC. And there's no continuity. There's they're not agreeing. The conferences should agree and say, okay, we'll just shut it down. Maybe we'll start it in the spring. We'll see what happens.
yeah. I agree with you, and at this point, just focus on spring.
Yeah, yeah. Just focus on the spring. You're right.
Yeah.
Definitely right. Let's say they can get a bubble. Let's say they can do a bubble type of thing, maybe.
No,
So
I don't think bubble will work for
I don't
football.
think so either. No, it's too many players. Too many.
Yeah,
Too many players. You got 50 something guys on a
yeah,
roster on
yeah.
top of the coaching, the coaches, the staff, and trainers. I just don't think it could work. You're talking 70 guys going into a bubble per team. I don't think that's going to work at all.
Yeah.
So, well, Nathan, thank you for coming on to the show. It was a pleasure always, man, talking to you. And thank you again. And like I said, let everyone know they can find you on social media and your show.
You can find me on Twitter, the NR Hour underscore, Instagram, the NR Hour underscore, YouTube, and then Facebook, LinkedIn, and like I said, everybody tune in. I have two more interviews today with the 2 o'clock with Cantley Elliott. If you heard of him, he's a sports journalist too. And at 8 o'clock, I have Kean Crossan from the Houston Texans, the cornerback, at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'm really looking forward to those interviews. And then I guess tomorrow working on something big, so hopefully it comes to fruition. But tomorrow I'm expected to have Omar Kelly, who covers the Miami at 12 p.m. So.
Yes, check out the NR Hour again. You can get it on Instagram, and then afterwards you can listen to it on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, just YouTube, whatever you get. You can get your podcast. It's definitely on there. And like I said, this interview will be up to all podcast platforms. Be on my Twitter, be on your Instagram, it'll be on my Instagram, so Facebook. So definitely. So then, thanks again, man. It's really appreciate it. Appreciate you and keep up the good work. Keep up all those guests. I'll definitely be looking. I know we look out for each other. If I have a guest on that you want, reach out and tell them, put them on your page. And again, always thank you for all the support. And I'll definitely be talking to you soon. And can't wait to get on your show next week as well.
Yeah, thank you for having me again, and I'm really looking forward to our interview on my show next week on Instagram. So that'd be awesome. And actually, you're gonna like this since you're an Eagle fan. I'm having Jason Babin on Tuesday on Zoom, 9 a.m.
All right,
So,
Eagle. Yes, can't wait. Can't wait to the NFL to start, man. I mean, if they can, I don't know. It's like one of those things. I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off either, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah,
But,
stay safe. I was gonna say stay safe, and I'll talk to you very soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, and enjoy. I mean, good luck with the rest of the show, and stay safe. And thank you.
All right, have a good one, man. Talk to you soon.
Yep.